land, animal land, should be lying around and being fine. Have to do your best while there are several trees. A burning ghost train meet you inside. We seem to be working on a computer. I work on the compiler. Chewing on data, which is all around and arranged in bundles of qualities and uniform things. And the stuff flowing through becomes the machine, which is a genetic lingo and wildness hanging out of a narrower space of minimal, widely known ways. Layers of tools for electron micrography, ladle style, mind world holster. One joinery technique onto any language happening. Consciousness, anywhere. Seems to live in valleys, deeply cultivated consciousness everywhere. One can adapt into transfigure, any the other. A huge brain upside down the corner, till flows around the patterns, nesting, recipes, doing daycare, decor, speaking a lot of language. Consciousness, very hard. It's not easy, bunch of sounds. Everything is quality. Seems to be about I do art like this. It's some of it is made in Stylehouse. Just have to guess which stuff was made in Stylehouse, which stuff was made that continues somehow inside of our minds that fit into each other. Sweet. I've come to save you from Babylon, which is the fight against human is what we are. Us and this. It's weird. No real. Difficult to point to. I made Stylehouse with my last 2 years. Container of what meant build it. Solidly baked into this one thing. I got in there and started saving the world. A medium. The need to communicate very strong circuitry towards getting your work across. You know, you can concentrate on all sorts of things. Stylehouse is the huge language join and cartoon format for data. Makes all of our work much more diverse work possible to do because it's locatable within the language, as we pull it apart. I've got these normal things, they're simple pieces.
Domesticating little bits of style together.
Yeah, this is a little tree of travel that it knows about. All of this content gets hoisted out of here into these containers, one after the other. It relates it to the ghost. The ghost is like the empirical recipe for everything that you update in a spiral formation. They've got names. They kind of hang out in paddocks.
I'll get that. Because I've had an interesting journey in listening to you speak, and that you've given me some wonderful pictures.
Simple pieces, moving parts for the computer. It'll make it way easier to teach a whole bunch of what we need to do, sometimes all over the place. Pass around these tools, and they're all quite small. I've got this thing that looks at process. This language it's got, it's just balls. Reality is a kind of foamy vibrant suit we carry in computers around to each other. Enjoy nutrients.
Photosynthesis, that's the business.
Such high quality work has shown up. This clearing that we are enjoying. We need to use it to make the world safe. We've got this amazing ability to do that right now. A very unique moment. The computers link us together in the medium, the highest rung in the thing. It's a telephone thing. We just got to go ring, 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 spread out all this noise. I probably just want to see an artist work. That's what this is all about. The way. So we got all this power that we can set and things.
I didn't know people could do that. That's too cool. See, I'm not very computery.
This is tape, right? On the future.
Type into it.
Yeah, and now we'll be more futuristic because we do the work. It fix this monitor a little bit, but it just looks like it makes atmosphere where it just doesn't fall out. Centrifuge. It just keeps sewing stuff together. It's a sewing machine. It could be anywhere. But they do hang out in paddocks. You want to kind of space out your experimentation so it's got realness.
Computers need something that don't really change what they're thinking about, but they're still going around and thinking it over and over again, especially when you try and get them locked up, especially if the actual time is consuming this lot faster than it
It needs some moving parts, basically. Everything's really, really expensive because we haven't discovered the basic moving parts. But I reckon this is it, because you can click these things and it updates what's there to up there, but it's also the recipe for how to do that. So here is where you start.
That's very interesting.
That's New Zealand. So I left this in the sun for a while.
Just gonna start the interview and then set up the shot.
Yes, every vector, shot is a vector. Any kind of measurable, suspendable animation drawn to a suspension to call it something else. It's a kind of unity to itself.
Brain, it's a rain of being back through itself. Somehow, when it's all just jumbling around in pattern space, it can pick itself apart or pick itself up, but it's basically just trees and stuff.
That we'll call a vector. It's a magnetic dome of the Stylehouse where you go up to the mind and then come down with whatever it is from the mind and put it on the ground. No, you gotta think harder.
So, how long ago did you think of...
When I was thinking about my bit of work for the thing.
Yeah.
And then, but there's no way to get in there, no way to like do the work. It's sealed concrete.
We don't live in the
mainframe.
Tron universe, eh? You can't just like teleport yourself inside the computer.
You can't just paint on this, break
Well,
something
you
apart.
could-
And a lot of the things that are,
Bits and bytes, you know.
yeah, they don't have any kind of otherness except for Stylehouse, which is what wants to happen all the time, and because the whole enough description of what it is not there to bring our language across the void replica of to get a bit of create the things. We're already in some kind of massive... Everything falls away. Yeah, how it's noticed that the style pat is 22 hours behind. It needs to be pulled in. This way of hoisting in remote things from different places and producing basically the same everything, but up to date. Creates these little piles of things to do.
That I'm thinking about skateboarding.
Technology, but it's about getting the thermodynamic of it. Top level entropy, some motor. Usually when you're building something, you've got to destroy what's already there, or destroy a bit of nothing.
I guess it doesn't really imply anything about how much nothing there is.
If you're bogged down and holding on to things, and then they stop you getting through the former, because it's like a valve.
Look at this rendering. Here it is rendering away. Meanwhile, on the other side, we called them
the reality
back in those
of
days.
the
They used to always
reality
be typing around. They used to always be typing around their
You
keyboard.
can't get into it, not to go into it by yourself. Oh yeah, see how
Style
that's
pat.
got a
What's
little bit of
style pat?
stuff
Does
on
that mean
there?
something? Mixed
Yeah.
up stuff that's kind of pre-masticated.
Yeah, that's the code that's doing this background thing. Slippery ball can catch it. We just ran out of money and we can't finish things. Structure so that people can connect their creativity to the massive creativity. Because right now we're just wasting. It looks like this, or not even. And go on the road, hello. And you can do anything. The web is so crazy.
Why?
Because you don't
That's
know
pretty.
what it is. And that's stopping you from working effectively. And we've run out of ways to cooperate. And no
Have we
one
really?
likes
I
to
don't
pile,
think so.
no one likes to be on the internet.
That I'm thinking
Well,
about
yeah, do
skateboarding.
stuff. Quality accepted. Grasping this. bringing things into this room. You see this room is kind of splayed here and here. What are we after? Off screen. Here somewhere. How we do this thing. If you type into the area, really this thing oscillate the thing. The only controls we have on it are whatever we build.
A rare glimpse into here, Steve, the creator of possibly the most awesome newfangled operating system. His supermarket shelves with a sledgehammer. Okay,
You gotta apply
want to know
yourself.
more about Stylehouse? When it's released, which is going to be like tomorrow probably, because it's just about done.
Yep. This world of things your mind is drawn into. We gotta finish the thing. It's like the Matrix, and we need a computer thing, like a whirlpool on the computer. It's like a new kind of space. Whole new holes open up in it to hold all these new things all the time. The basicness of it itself, so that we can stretch it out from there to all these little pockets of light that we want to include. Everyone's ticket out of suffering. It's supposed to have this world, to really have it. Everyone wanted something like this. People haphazardly invent ways about things. We should try and transfer and reapply, reuse the way we put people in space. It should make as much sense as possible on an ongoing basis. I have some types of things. My philosophy, break it down to these little families and explore each symbol, and it all becomes this big network of sense waking up. The J is like a tree, has many branches of things in it. It's where things can pile on top of themselves and be understood in the way that they're doing it, because there's one vector, this index thing, and Y, the fraction as well. The whole thing can be looked at as fractional space, or as the thing names themselves. Playing off between those two understandings is the thing to do if you're doing your computations. This is all computations. This whole thing is big distributed computation. These plants have learned how to do that, and we've got to make the computer learn how to do some more things. I just want to see. I want this C thing to be the object that I make all the time when I lay my eggs. Well, I'll need a room to lay my eggs in. Now this is for you, but it's where we already are. How do you get this other bit on it? Create that first J, which must be jumping into this space somehow on the screen by that same pluggy patched into remote happenings. The internet is starting to show. It's just a bunch of vectors jumping onto each other, onto the screen. Impressions of something, waves of something being plumbed out. Stylehouse does this. Does like branching in different medium. Creates this imaginary place where things just have names. You can go and make that first branch happen. And put the second branch on. You can move the first branch. The second branch will remain. All that simple stuff is kind of nowhere unless you build it in every single case of matter pouring out. We don't have a basic particle wave rifle way to the computer yet. I want to build lots more teachable stuff and do this whole mythology. A computer problem is the way to freedom. Watch out for the incredibly hard bits. People are afraid of things that aren't funny. Just gotta do it. It's funny. You should be very concerned about the computer problem. It controls the con that is chewing you. A crystal of language is your puzzle piece. Stylehouse is like most of everything we need to do in one pile. If you use this language to explain it, build these things. It's like a minimal set of things. It makes it so you can build really extravagant constellations of the basic types of things, falling away from the basicness of themselves, like the start of a self and the rest of the self. Like the A is a pipe of information gravitating towards other that invoke it, like a J. A tree bit that knows how to build structures. Beautiful lunch. One of the breaths it requires is confronting the unknown. You need it in an unresolved state. There's all this fabric of thinking lying around. Reason comes and goes, wants to be. always think everything's wired to everything. It's all gonna end up in someone's uterus. So I've come up with a thing that computer science needs to get on with life on a thing fraction and these two balls of language. I have invented C, which is this little magnet that we can put over everything on the ground. I mean anywhere, can compose it out of these things for the mind of the computer to slot through mechanisms, simple as possible, build out around it, and it forces the self of the thing off at this angle where it always becomes like a branch. The central understanding of the C, very important for the computer, because they are fractures of things. Not all of it matters. Sometimes you just need to unfold something, select what matters, layer up all this stuff. The ghost creates the way. It's like paddocks of intellect that we maintain to model this universal thing that's going on. The aspects of it, chunks of the self at extreme points of deduction from chaos, from vagueness. We need to decide, well, just play the process of decision. Make these domes full of understanding, feeding fishes. And Stylehouse is a way to wire it all together, even if the plan is that development never stops. It's designed to do all it can by its nature. The shapes fall apart into more shapes, and it's turning over that process, finding the universal core of sense that we can partake in, find how it's meant to be. House Philosophy Club will look at how it is and how it should be in a beautiful way. Stylehouse will be a never-ending quest for techno-clarification, and smaller and smaller. With the internet, we must create some more reality. Reality, the engineering task, choosing an appropriate level of modeling for reality. Developing is like, there's not that much reality here. Couldn't we give you some more reality? And the language of it.
It's something you wouldn't want to sell, eh? It's something you'd give away for a present.
Reality that wants.
That's like, can you use it for trading? Does it have, what could corporate organisations
get together
gain from this?
what you mean, and they're just trying to play with toys with time with lumps in it, and you got to figure out how it's going to pull up things. Negligible, just that the thing is there is most of the reality that you're going for. With gondolas as well, totally a picture of gondolas, how it works, which is the cable that just moves. You can hang anything on it. It's a network so open that we can build, you know, it's like a really old concept that runs the new concepts within it, kind of like a bridge, and then all this activity flows across the top of the thing. Shape of the dome, it's a dome. Build this world for the point. It's really just the stuff between these two walls, where supposedly it gets too much underneath the point to still be the point. Kind of a neutral radar of what it means. To it, draws it out. The sky dumping out into the land. The center of the earth, the water flowing under it. There it is. Inside of a mind. Receiving that intelligence now. What? Everything in its primordial state. Find is the lasagna vending machine so far. Right now it's chewing up a bunch of heart. It takes care of it. And that's all that matters, is that you can draw stuff out into space. Which I'm just starting to pull together. That's what we're doing. You know, there's a ratio of wall to insideness. Right, let's take a look. Yeah, lucky full of domes, lots of triangles. This little log of stuff bringing you this ways. So here there's like rocks. We're looking at down onto rocks and away over two rocks over there. This is the way the land unifies.